Hello, Space Cadets. It's your girl, NovaBlaStarr, and I'm back with Detective Pikachu Returns. So, we are back at it again with the Detective Pikachu. We didn't really get a chance to actually play the game, like get into an actual case, solve a crime. Like, I'm a gumshoe, Pika Gumshoe, Detective Gumshoe. Like, why am I not solving cases? So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into where we left off at and get it panopping. From my understanding, we're supposed to be following the lieutenant. Yeah. Frank Holiday, that's his name. I appreciate you coming such short notice to. Okay, let's give him a voice. I appreciate you coming on how should we make him sound? Appreciate you coming on such short notice, Tim. This way, the crime took place at the dentist residence up ahead. Okay, he just kind of sauntered away. Right here.
Well, if it isn't the great detectives.
Okay, who is you? Brad Matchmaster, City Police Lieutenant. Okay. It's been a while, Brad. I see you're on the case too. I suppose that means you are here as well. You private detectives love sticking your nose into every little thing. He seems like a dude who just like, I can't believe she's here. Gross. If Mr. Dennis hadn't requested you personally, I'd be asking you to leave right now. Yep, he's still a jerk. He seems like a jerk. But he's a very sharp-dressed jerk. Anyway, think he's still holding a grudge from that time we showed him up? Sorry if the audio is a little staticky. I gotta get my what's the name replaced. So if it's a little, I'm sorry. I'm still working on a way to get that resolved. If y'all know any hints for like the HD60S, that would help. I've tried everything and nothing helps with the audio. That buzzing sound. Mince. He says no funny business. Sheesh, no wonder you two are partners. That's enough, Brad. We're going to be conducting this investigation together. This is the scene of the crime, right? Yeah, this mansion belongs to Sanjeev Dennis, a jeweler. Okay, come through. Dennis residence. Okay, so what's the dealio? We looking for lost jewels or something? Mr. Dennis is one of the wealthiest men in Rhyme City. Under normal circumstances, a citizen like you yourself would never have the opportunity to meet him. Make sure you don't do anything to offend him. He's paying our bills. Oh, and don't get in the way of our investigation either. I have bills to make. Okay, get out of my way. He's just got to get a dig in somewhere, doesn't he? Okay, Tim, come inside. I don't know if I'm mixing up the voices. I'm sorry. I don't really have set voices for everybody. I feel like sometimes my voices be good, sometimes they're bad. The missing jewels, or jewel. Dennis residence. Dennis residence, first floor.
I see.
All right, Tim. Mr. Dennis is waiting for you in the room to your right. Thanks, Inspector Holiday. All right, let's go. Come on, Pikachu. Oh, he's a handsome man. Oh, Growlithe looks sad. I don't know why, though.
Oh, Tim, I've been waiting for you.
Welcome. No, I'm playing. Mr. Dennis Jeweler. Okay, I see you, black man, out here making your money. Guard at Dennis. Oh, he's the guard. My name is Mr. Stephen Dennis. I'm the jeweler, and this is my partner, Growlithe. Growl. I'm Detective Tim Goodman, and this is my partner, Pikachu. Sorry to jump right into it, but could you please tell us what you know about the incident? About the crime.
Oh,
A precious jewel was stolen while I was out of the house. It called the Aurora Drop, and is a very rare jewel indeed. The Aurora Drop. What a mysterious name, magical even. The thief injured one of my staff members and made off with the jewels. Okay. So somebody got injured in the midst of the theft. Thankfully, my staff member injury were minor, and yet, is something sticking out to you that's okay, is something sticking out to you as odd? That's a weird sentence. Well, the police are treating my trusted butler as the prime suspect. And personally me, I don't think he did it. They think the butler did it? That's so cliche. Could you tell me a bit more about the stolen jewels? It looks like this. Oh, most gemstones must first be cut and polished into beautiful jewels. But the Aurora Drop is said to have naturally formed into this shape. Oh, that's nice. The way it shines looks a bit like an aurora. Yes, that's precisely how it got its name. The Aurora Drop been the subject of many a tale, but it was thought to be nothing more than a fiction. Even amongst us jewelers, for the longest time, we called it the jewel of legend. Wow, wasn't kidding when he called it a precious. Precious. Guess it's no surprise that someone wants to steal it. It it definitely sounds valuable. Where would you display it? I kept it securely locked inside and within a special enforced case inside my jewels storage room. There are locks on the storage room door. Blah, blah, blah. There are locks on both the storage room door and the reinforced case. And yet, despite all that security, it still got stolen. A ghost Pokemon did it. About your trusted butler. You mentioned that the police already have a suspect. Yes, they believe that the thief is my own trusted butler. Why do they think that? Because Barnes and I are the only people who can access the keys to the storage room. Okay? What keeps keeping someone else from getting into it? The key is always kept around Growlett's neck. Oh, so if they're able to steal the key from Growlett, Growlett would have to know them in order to get it stolen. What level is Growlett? I mean, I'm bringing Pokemon language into this. Like, come on now. Could have been a water type. The key is always kept around Growlett's neck. If anyone but Barnes or myself attempt to take it from Growlett, would start barking. My Growlett is a very loyal Pokemon. She would never allow the key to be taken by a stranger. I don't see a key around Growlett's neck right now. The police think Barnaby took it. Did they find the key on him? That would certainly make sense, assuming Barnes really is a culprit. Mr. Barnes, if possible, I'd like to talk with Mr. Barnes. Or Mr. I got them mixed up. Dennis. He's currently being questioned by the police. But you don't believe Barnes is the thief, is that correct? I've known Barnes since we were young. He worked in this house for years and has always served us well. I'm certain that he'd never steal from me, and I couldn't possibly imagine him hurting anyone. So you're saying Barnes didn't do it, and the real culprit is still at large? That's right. Someone else must have stolen that jewel. Please help me prove that Barnes is innocent. Ah, so that's why he called us here, to clear his butler's name. So it's not really, it's about the jewel, but it's really about clearing Mr. Barnes' name and then finding the jewel. Can we talk to Growlett? So finding Aurora's drop and clearing Barnes of suspicion, those are the two things you called us here to do. Could you please? You're the only one I can count on. Our job is to investigate the case and reveal the truth. We won't know if Barnes is truly innocent until we looked into this more. Yeah, the police must have at least some reason to suspect him. But we'll do what we can. If that's acceptable to you, we'll take the case. That's more than acceptable. Thank you, Tim. Great. In that case, may I start investigating the scene of the crime? Of course. The jewel storage room is just upstairs. I know you won't let me down. Okay, can we talk to Growlithe? Wait a sec, Tim. There's something I want to try starting with this case. Something you want to try? Yeah, a case notebook. The writer for Detective Journal swear by it. Detective Journal, the magazine you're always reading, right? Yeah, that one. They research the most effective ways for a detective to organize their case notes. The solution they come up with was a case notebook. Sounds intriguing. How does it work? I'm getting to that. First, open up your notebook. Where is our notebook? Okay, X. Okay, so we do have something in here. How was the jewel stolen? Stangiv Dennis jewels have apparently been stolen, but how did the culprit steal it? Investigate the scene of the crime on the second floor for clues. First, let's write in the notebook any burning questions that arise while we're investigating. Okay, done. We'll summarize the testimony and evidence that we've gathered during our investigation on a page below. So what he's told us, right? The stolen gem, the Aurora drop, is Mr. Dennis' prized jewel. Someone has stolen it. Okay, after we've collected enough testimony and evidence to begin deducing options will appear. When you select this, we can start deducing the answer to our questions. We don't have enough testimony or evidence right now, but once we do, we'll be able to start deducing. Okay. I guess actually using the notebook is the best approach. So Tim, what do we have to do right now? We have to collect testimony and evidence to figure out how the jewel was stolen. To do that, we first have to investigate the scene of the crime. That's right. Let's go check out the jewel storage room. Okay, maybe I'm jumping a little bit ahead because personally I would like to talk to Growlithe. Wow. Is Dennis's partner Growlithe. She sure doesn't look happy. Growl. Apparently she feels responsible. No wonder she's down. Maybe we leave her alone for now. Ah, I was hoping we could have got some evidence. Oh wow, they got a picture of oh, that's nice. Do they got a picture of? Oh yeah, Lugia. Lugia is actually my favorite legendary from the silver and gold. The name of the painting is Silver Waves, and it depicts Lugia, a Pokemon known as the Guardian of the Sea, which is dope. Who doesn't love the Guardian of the Sea? It's rumored that he lives deep down on the ocean floor, but no one ever seen it. That makes sense. The ocean floor is not exactly a place you just casually visit. This is true. It's not a rumor. It's the truth. He lives on the ocean floor. Sometimes it could be found in caves in the ocean. It's so that way he doesn't hurt anybody. Okay, so this must be the room. The jewel storage room has been left exactly as it is at the time of the incident. Inspector Holiday already filled me in. Please go ahead and go inside. Yes. Thank you. Alright. Jewel storage room. Well, there's definitely fluff. Like from, was that Pokemon, the cotton ones that we saw? The door doesn't look like it's been tampered with. What is it, Pikachu? I checked out the door, but there's no signs of a forced entry. That's what I was thinking too, because it would be busted. Maybe they picked the lock? Then we can be fairly certain that the thief used a key to get in, or he picked the lock. According to Dennis, this rooms where the Aurora dropped used to be. Let's take a look around. Okay. Well, the glass is definitely some samurai sliced. What a beautiful jewel. It's so clear and sparkly, absolutely brilliant. Okay. A green jewel? That fresh green color reminds me of the forest. Just look at it. It's calming. Just looking at it is calming. Okay. Are these, no, it can't be. The blue one, blue jewel. It's a deep blue like the ocean. It's kind of magical feeling. And a red jewel. What a vibrant red, like a boiling hot lava. It's almost too bright to look at. I was gonna say, are these can't be what I think they are. Okay, first of all, what's in that cotton right there? It's something blue on there. This area looks more disturbed than the rest. Let's start investigating here. We might find a clue. All right, don't let any details slip past you, Tim. Okay, good. So we're going to do like a zoom in because I really want to see what this feather and stuff is about. We see a lot of cotton, making me think of those little cottony, wispy little Pokemon. The what do they call a Wispicot? Making me think of Wispicot. I see like a little blue feather over there. I don't know what that means. Whoever it was, they had to been able to use like a slice or some type of slicing move to be able to cut that glass like that. I met him already on it. Like I told you, I'm a super sleuth. This is the sleuthing that I's deucing. I'm sorry, that was bad. Let's see where should we look first. Well, first, I want to take a look at whatever this is. Yeah, what is this feather? Here's a blue feather. Do you think the Pokemon it belongs to was in this room? Maybe it's from a Pokemon that lived in the mansion. Let's look into that later. Okay. Blue feather, that could be any Pokemon for real. Okay, well, we saw a blue feather. Let's examine this. The base of the jewelry case is firmly fixed to the floor. Yeah, moving the base doesn't even look possible. Okay, good. Yeah, let's take a look at the actual glass itself. Like, look how straight that is. This is the only case that's damaged. Must be where they kept the Aurora drop. The edge looks like it was sliced clean by a blade. That's what I said. Some type of bladed Pokemon. What kind of blade could slice this clearly through such a sturdy glass case? Well, they didn't use the key, that's for sure. They might have used the key to get in, but they didn't use the key to unlock it. The jewel case is still locked. Super sleuthing, but why would they need to if they used the Pokemon? So this kind of leading me to the butler being, so far, being cleared. Like Dennis said, the jewel is in the case was stolen under lock and key. And the key to the case is a different key than the one that's to the jewel storage room door. I wonder who has the key then. Right, because if it's two different keys, then what the freak? Okay, I think that's everything right there. Let's take a look at this. You sure you've checked everywhere? No, I want to examine the glass. That looks like part of the jewel case. Based on the shape, do you think this is the top of the... Yes, definitely. Yeah, it looks that way. It's a really clean cut. Yeah, it's literally super clean. Slicing it must have taken one seriously sharp blade. I doubt a human could pull that off. Of course, it was a Pokemon. What's up with all the fluff? Can we explain that there's some cotton on the ground? It looks really fluffy and soft. Yeah, that's definitely from what's the name? What a bunch of cotton doing here. It's obviously from a Pokemon that has a lot of cotton. Another, okay, one check. Okay. I think that's everything, right? I feel like that's everything. Oh, we could examine that.
Hey, Tim. Check it out. Looks good, huh? Disguises
Pikachu.
are a key part of detective work, you know.
I do.
Yeah, whatever. Now quit goofing off and
Right.
investigate.
We have to investigate right now.
He clearly doesn't appreciate my art. Perhaps I need to give him a little more training.
Pikachu's adorable. All right. I don't see anything else worth investigating. Okay. Let me check and see if there's a window in
let's
here.
Start deducing.
Okay.
Okay, let's start deducing.
So he wants me to start deducing. Okay. Begin deductive reasoning. You probably figured out how the culprit stole the jewel by now, huh? Yeah, definitely. All right. Select the beginning deduction in your case notebook. Let's do it, guys. Time to deduce.
Okay.
Okay, we have a few plausible theories. Which do you think is right? How was the jewel stolen? No. The culprit cut open the case and stole the jewel. Yes.
Okay.
From what we've seen of the crime scene, we can tell that the jewel case was sliced open. After that, the Aurora drop was removed from the case and taken away. Right, and we saw that the jewel case was still locked, which supports that claim. We still need to investigate more, determining how the case was sliced open, though. But at least now we know how the thief got their hands on the Aurora drop. Yeah, we've made our first step forward. Okay, so what do we need to find out now? Okay, but that was super obvious. You know, first case is always super obvious. You understand how to use the case notebook now, right? Yep, once I've got some evidence, I'll start doing deductions. Feel free to start deducing whenever you feel like it. Okay, so we don't have to wait until we have everything to deduce. Okay, after investigating the scene, we now know how the crime was carried out. We can be certain that the culprit sliced open the case and took the jewel from inside. But there's just one thing that's strange. What's that? Oh, yeah? Yeah. Think, Tim. What's strange about the way the crime was committed? The jewel room door was locked. The jewels were stored in this room. The glass was cut, but the door wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah. The door was open just fine because somebody either picked the lock or had the key, but they didn't open the case. They weren't able to open the case after getting into the door. And if I'm not mistaken, the testimony from Dennis was, if you got one key, you got the other type like stuff. So we definitely got to figure that out. The door to the storage room was open with a key, but the jewel case was still locked when it was sliced apart. That's right. So that means that the thief only had one of the keys. The one to the storage room, they didn't have the key to the jewel case. According to Mr. Dennis, only he and Dennis can access the jewel storage room. I understand why the police suspect Barnes, but I'm not so sure. Obviously, it'd be best if we talk to Barnes ourselves, but he's still being questioned. We need to ask Mr. Dennis about the lock on the jewel case. Right, after we wrap up here, let's go ask him. I think we're done in this room. How's the investigation going, Tim? Oh, Mr. Dennis. Sorry, I couldn't stand just waiting around. Have you discovered anything? It does appear that the culprit used the storage room key to gain entry. We believe they then cut open the case and took the Aurora drop. I'd be like, no offense, but I can see that with my own eyes. Is that so? I suppose that doesn't help Barnes much, since he has access to the key. I have a question for you, Mr. Dennis. Who has the key to the jewel case? I have it. Oh, I have it right here. I always carry the key to the jewel case on my person. I've known Barnes a very long time, but I still won't give him the key. Okay, so he's the one with the key to the jewel case. Even though they both have access to the room, only he can actually open the case. The security of the jewel case is my personal responsibility. Got it. So both Barnes and Dennis can access the key to the jewel storage room, but not the case. But only Dennis can access the key from the wheels is turning. I don't know if y'all are already figuring it out. That's valuable information, Mr. Dennis. Thank you. Really? I thought I might be getting in the way, but I'm glad to hear I could help. The Aurora Drop is meant to become a symbol of revival for Rhyme City. Anyway, I'm counting on you, Tim. Okay, he's definitely counting on us. A symbol of revival. Let's ask Dennis about that later. Okay, here we go. Next piece of information. Is Barnes the culprit? The police suspects Barnes is the culprit. Begin interviewing the people and Pokemon in the mansion. The thief cut open the case to steal the jewels, but they had the key to get into the storage room, which only Growlithe has. And the only people who have access to that key is Dennis and Barnes. So it makes sense that the police would suspect Barnes. If the key hadn't been used to unlock the storage room, Barnes wouldn't be under suspicious in the first place. Why would he do that knowing people would suspect him? Maybe he didn't think that far ahead. In any case, based on what we found at the scene of the crime, we couldn't be certain of anything just yet. We need to talk to Barnes and other people in the mansion and hear what they have to say. Not just the people, the Pokemon too. I'll interpret for you when we talk to them. All right, I'm counting on you, Pikachu. Okay, now that we've got our next steps figured out, let's start interviewing everyone right away. All right, let's begin. All right, I'm excited. Hey Tim, there's something on the floor by the window. Where? Should we check it out? Something on the floor by the window. Another blue feather. Multiple blue feathers.
Oh,
Do I know a Pokemon with blue feathers like that? The only one I could think of is that one that looks like an eagle. Really big Pokemon. I don't see how it would fit through the window. Maybe it's the evolved form, the one with the big old feather on its head. I don't know. We'll figure it out. What's all this? Pokemon feathers? Sure looks like it. They're scattered all over the floor, and the window's open. Maybe a Pokemon got in or out through here? And most likely it got out. Do you think it has anything to do, but yeah, it most likely got out. I was thinking maybe that was glass on the floor too. It's just feathers. Do you think it has anything to do with this case? Look at this. One of these feathers is darker than the others. You're right. Other 6 are a lighter shade of blue. Something about that is nagging at me. Well, we did find a feather in the room where everything was stolen. Is there anything in here? We may be investigating a crime, but we should still respect the privacy. Okay, so we can't go in that room. That's fine. Let's go downstairs. We got some people and Pokemon to talk to. Who are you? Never met you before.
Hello there, Detective Tim. Detective Goodman?
Who are you? Larry Turner, newest staff member of Dennis Residence. Okay, so he's a staff member. Wait, you are the detective, right? That's what Mr. Dennis said, at least. The name, wait, That's not proper enough. Sorry, my name is Larry Turner, and I'm a member of the house staff. House staff, huh? Seems in over his head. If you need anything, just let me know. I mean, please inform me if you really don't have to be so formal with us. Thanks, that's a huge relief. I got the job a while ago, but I'm still not sure to talking all fancy. Uh-oh, is that a problem? Well, it's a good thing for me for that Barnes deals with all the important guests. My main duties are taking care of the Pokemon, managing the house, and groundskeeping. And I can handle all that, no problem. I don't know, this guy isn't exactly filling me with confidence in the abilities to do his job. Anyway, you wanted to ask what happened, right? I mean, I already told the police everything I know. I'm really sorry for taking up more of your time. Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant. I'm not complaining or anything. It's just that I don't remember what happened very well. Or do you remember and you just don't want to tell me? Something attacked me out of nowhere. Oh, he's the person who got attacked. And I blinked out. Do you think he could have been attacked by the window, maybe? No. That's the wrong thing, because if he was attacked by the window would already have to be open when he got attacked. Something attacked him, so not the thief then. Can you please tell us more about that, Mr. Turner? Sure, no problem. About the crime that took place. Right, so where to start? I was just doing my job like normal today. I made food for the Pokemon, did some cleaning around the mansion, that sort of thing. I think I was tidying the garden when it happened. I saw Ducklet fly out of the second-story window. As I recall, I wondered where she was going. I mean, usually Ducklet just walks out the front door. Ooh, sorry, y'all. My rubber bands, I used those clear ones, and one just popped on top of my head. It felt so weird. Just walked out the front door. It seemed weird to me, so I went upstairs to see what was going on. That's when I saw that the door to the jewel storage was wide open. As if that wasn't shocking enough, the moment I went to look inside, I suddenly got punched by a Pokemon. So he got punched by a Pokemon. The next thing I knew, I was laying on the sofa and someone was treating my wounds. A Pokemon punched you. Yeah, I feel like a glimpse a small red figure for just a moment. So a red figure. Like a Scizor? Like is Scizor like the evolved form of like the big red Pokemon that from the green one to the big one? Like one of those? Like their claws are sharp enough to slice through like glass. It couldn't have been a human, so I'm guessing it was a Pokemon. A red Pokemon. Do you know what kind it was? A bug Pokemon? I'm really not sure. It's all happened so fast. I see. I'm sorry that happened to you. But I'm glad you weren't seriously hurt. Haha, that's what the doctor said too. No Pokemon would want to steal the Aurora drop. Right, so it has to be assisting a human. It's possible that the culprit ordered their partner Pokemon to swipe the jewel and punch out Turner. So Tim, now that you've heard Turner's story, what do you think? We need to find the duckling that flew out the window and the red Pokemon too. Yep, you got it. Okay, about the culprit. About the culprit. Did you see anything else when the Pokemon attacked you? The thief who brought the Pokemon along was probably nearby. Unfortunately, that's all I saw. I see. Can you think of any other details that might have given a clue about the culprit? Nothing in particular is coming to mind. I mean, Mr. Dennis is such a nice person. I never heard of anyone holding a grudge against him. And I was really surprised to hear that Barnes is a suspect. You don't think Barnes is responsible? I guess the police must have some reason to suspect him, but honestly, I can't believe it. Barnes is still showing me the ropes around here. He's a great coworker and tons of experience. I mean, if you'd known Barnes before all this, you could never imagine him being a thief.
Excuse me?
Okay, about the Aurora drop. Do you know anything about the stolen jewel? The Aurora drop, I've never even seen the thing. It's been shut up in the storage room ever since it was brought to the house. Of course, I know it's valuable and all. I assume that's what's been causing all the arguments between Mr. and Mrs. Dennis lately. What sort of arguments? Right, that's suspicious. In case you hadn't heard, Mr. Dennis says he's gonna donate the Aurora drop. Seems like Miss Dennis is against that plan. They've been fighting about it almost nightly. Even every night, it must really be a point of conflict or whatever. I guess Mr. Dennis doesn't want to give up such a valuable jewel. So the Aurora drop's been driving a wedge between the husband and wife, huh? Okay, so that's good to know. Wow.
Yes?
All right, I'm guessing this is
You
his
certainly
wife.
don't look like you're with the police. State your business.
I'm a detective hired by your husband. Yeah, we on it. All right, we're detectives. Mr. Dennis asked us to investigate the incident that occurred here. Detectives? Oh, I suppose my husband did say something about that. Your husband? That must mean you're Claudine Dennis, Stengie's wife. I'm sorry to bother you, but do you mind if we ask some questions? I do mind, actually. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. The case has already been solved. What do you mean? The police said that Barnes is behind all of this. So, matters settled. We've heard that he's under suspicion, yes. But we can't be certain was Barnes who committed the crime. You sound just like my husband, but nothing you say will change the fact that Barnes is the culprit. Barnes' partner Ducklet was up to no good. I saw it with my own eyes. Did you witness the crime? Barnes' partner Ducklet was involved in the crime. You look as though you don't believe me. About what you witnessed. Is it true that you witnessed the crime? Well, I didn't expect to see it clearly. But I did witness some irrefutable proof. What exactly did you see? At the time of the incident, I was enjoying a cup of tea in my room on the second floor. Just then I noticed a bird flying outside the window. A bird? Yes, I clearly saw a blue bird Pokemon. It had to have been Ducklet. We did find blue feathers near the window and in the storage room. So those were Ducklet's. In hindsight, she was obviously stealing the jewel. I also heard a faint sound just before, like something metallic. A metallic sound. Do you know what that could have been? No, I don't. But the storage room was ransacked, wasn't it? I suppose she must have broken something in the act. And I heard it confirmed that Ducklet feathers were found in the room. Isn't that proof enough that Barnes is the culprit? No, not exactly, because what if there's another Pokemon around with blue feathers? And remember, we found two types of feathers. Ducklet feathers, which were the light blue ones, and then a deep dark blue feather. So, no, it doesn't. But all it's based on is a metallic sound. The sight of a flying blue bird Pokemon pretty flimsy if you ask me. Yeah, I'm sorry, Miss Dennis, but that information alone isn't enough to effectively provide Barnes, pretty much make him the culprit. Dang. Then hurry up and find whoever it is and get that jewel back. Isn't that what my husband hired you for? Isn't that why we're asking you questions? Sigh. I get that she's upset, but she hasn't had to take it out on us.
Excuse me?
About Barnes. Mr. Dennis seems confident that Mr. Barnes is innocent. Oh yes, I'm sure he is. He always been too trusting, especially when it comes to Barnes. Those two really trust each other that much? I'm told Barnes worked here for a long time. Much longer, in fact, than I've known him. I suppose that's why Barnes is always taking my husband's side. What do you mean by that? Whenever my husband and I have a disagreement, Barnes inevitably sides with my husband. Even though I'm sure he believes he's being impartial, that lack of self-awareness is yet another one of his many flaws. I get the feeling that Claudia is not a huge fan of Barnes. Do you think that's why she's so sure he's the thief?
Excuse me?
It could be. About the ducklet. Could you tell me more about the ducklet? Ducklet is Barnes' Pokemon. She dotes on him tirelessly and is always by his side. Okay, so we have a testimony about the duck. You mentioned earlier that she might be involved in the crime somehow. Would Ducklet be capable of such a thing? Yes, she even helps Barnes out with his shopping. She'd certainly be capable of making off with the jewel. Well, whether or not Ducklet stole the jewel, the one thing that seems certain is that she really loves Barnes. Okay, so that's our timer. I'm gonna keep going just a little bit more. The one thing that seems certain. Oh, okay. About the Aurora Drop. The Aurora Drop is an incredibly valuable jewel. Mr. Barnes told me the same thing. But do you really understand? Can you even comprehend how valuable it is? Huh? I knew it. Just look at those blank expressions. Hey, my face always looks like this. As it is, I'm not even sure my husband understands the true value of that jewel. After getting his hands on something so precious, why would he want to donate it to Rhyme City? So you're against donating the Aurora Drop? Of course I am. Treasure like that ain't meant to be potted against for a general public. They should be preserved for quiet observation by a select few. Hard to imagine her quietly doing anything. I ain't gonna fake. So far, I think it might be her. She has motive. She's the only eyewitness. Nobody else witnessed anything, even though I'm not gonna say that her eyewitness statement is incorrect. But what I am going to say is that her only witnessing that one thing seems weird. And then also her testimony about something metallic happening in the other room and not being able to say specifically what it is suspicious. Let's talk to her, was it Clefable? Excuse me. Okay. Let's talk to Clefable, and then I think we're going to try to end it after that. Babe! Oh, it's Clefable, Miss Dennis's partner, apparently. Can I ask you a few questions? Clefable! Faye! Whoa, what gives? No need to be so rude. What's wrong? Seems like she's real suspicious of us. Maybe she feels sensitive about the incident here. Oh, so she doesn't even want to talk to us. Let's see if Growlithe wanted to talk real quick. Yeah, let's ask him. What makes the Aurora Drop a symbol of revival? 2 years ago, during the R-Rich incident, my jewel shop suffered considerable damage. Wait, you were a victim of the R's incident? Yes, some Pokemon who've been exposed to R went berserk. Their rampage destroyed my shop, to say nothing of the damage done to my jewels and other goods. Hopefully he had that insurance for your boy. By that time, I already had the Aurora drop. I kept it stored safely in my shop. So was the Aurora drop damaged too? No, as a matter of fact, it wasn't. Of all the jewels in my shop, the Aurora drop was the only one to remain unshattered. In fact, debris fell so perfectly around the Aurora drop that you might believe it was being protected. That's incredible. I guess there's some magic left in this world after all. Even ever since then, the Aurora drop became known as the jewel that survived the art incident. People started visiting my shop just to see it. And thanks to all of that attention, my business was able to get back on its feet. Also, I understand why he feels as though it needs to be displayed and not by a select few. Sounds valuable, like a valuable jewel in more ways than one. What made you decide to bring it back to your mansion instead of keeping it at the shop? I decided to donate it into Rhyme City. The Aurora drop? But why donate something so precious to you? It's not just precious to me, and that's exactly why I decided to donate it. Mayor Myers has done his part in improving our city by declaring the start of Pokemon Friendship Week. I thought it was about time I did mine. So I want to donate the jewel that survived the art incident as a symbol of Rhyme City's revival. That is so decent. I hope that by doing so, I can help liven up the place just a bit, but the whole city as well. Wow, Dennis, I'm impressed. That's a wonderful gesture. I'm glad you think so. Not everyone is so pleased about it. Oh? Forget it. Forget I said anything. I shouldn't burden you with the concerns over such personal matters. For now, I'm counting on you to find the Aurora drop as quickly as possible. Understood. We'll do everything we can. I have a feeling this Growlithe knows something. So, now then, Mr. Barnes, we'll thank you not to leave the mansion until further notice. Understood. Hey, it sounds like the police finished questioning Barnes. Let's go talk to him. Yeah. Okay. After this, we're going to go ahead and end it. This must be Mr. Barnes. Brandon Barnes, butler. Okay. Sigh, how did this come to this? Why are the police so suspicious of me? Excuse me, are you Mr. Barnes? Who might you be? I'm Detective Tim Goodman, and Mr. Dennis has hired me to investigate the crime that occurred here. Is that so? My apologies. I am Brandon Barnes. I work here as Dennis' residence as a butler. Do you mind if I ask you some questions, Mr. Barnes? I realize you must be tired since you were just questioned by the police. Please don't worry about me. If you'd been hired by Mr. Dennis, then it is my duty to give you my full cooperation. Thank you. What would you like me to speak about first? Okay, it seems as though we have to question him before we can end it, so we'll do that. At the time of the incident,
Yes.
I was away when the accident occurred. It wasn't until after I finished my errands and entered the house that I realized something was amiss. I heard Turner cry out for help on the second floor. When I rushed up the stairs, I found him collapsed on the floor in front of the jewel storage room. So, that means Barnes was the first witness to arrive at the scene of the crime. Did you see the thief or their partner Pokemon? You know what? This is starting to make me feel like the new hire might be suspicious too. No, nothing like that. Wait, if Barnes ran upstairs, you'd think he would have ran straight into the thief. If he didn't see anyone, could they have escaped from the second floor? Did you check the storage room? Yes, the door was already open, and when I looked inside, I saw the Aurora drop was gone. I then contacted Mr. Dennis and the police right away. Is there anyone who can corroborate your whereabouts at the time? Unfortunately not. If he ran errands, shouldn't they have like videos of wherever he went? It was only afterwards that Mr. Dennis came out of her room to see what commotion was about. So she was in the room when she claimed she witnessed the sound and witnessed the bird ducklet flying out the window. And the only other in the house at the time were Growlithe and Clefable. Naturally, no one can take witness statements from Pokemon, so I'm afraid I have no alibi. That's where we come in. The Pokemon that live in this mansion might know something. Okay, about the culprit. Mr. Barnes, do you have any idea who the thief might be? No clue, I'm afraid. But I do know that Mr. Dennis and I are the only ones who can freely use the keys to the jewel storage room. This is also something that can be corroborated. Growlithe guards that key with consistent vigilance, so I imagine it would be very difficult for anyone to take it from her. I suppose it's no great wonder that the police suspect me given the circumstances. But I would never do something so senseless. He doesn't have motive, it don't seem like. Unless motive is like money. At least this confirms that only 2 have access to the key. About Ducklet. Ducklet is my dear partner Pokemon. Just look at this photo. Okay, it does have like the light blue feathers, but it doesn't have like those really deep blue ones. The Ducklet with you there. Yes, isn't she adorable? Just look at her feathers. Simply beautiful. But that's not all. She also incredibly clever. Even helps me out with my work. Oh, excuse me. I'm terribly sorry. I tend to get a bit carried away when I speak about my Ducklet. It's really no problem. You mentioned that she helps you with your work. What exactly does she do? Let's see. She runs errands for me, such as buying coffee beans from a local cafe. Oh, she buys coffee beans? Nice. There's a place nearby called the High Hat Cafe. Perhaps you've heard of it. I have. She regularly goes shopping there by herself. If that's their go-to cafe, then it gotta be for the High Hat blend. Guess I shouldn't be surprised that Rhyme City elite have such refined tastes. I asked her to go get some coffee today, in fact, but she hadn't yet returned. Could she have wandered off somewhere? Do you have any ideas where Ducklet might be? Unfortunately, no. The feathers found at the scene of the crime are Ducklet's, right? Yes, no question about it. But I hadn't the faintest idea why Ducklet feathers would be there. Just the thought of her getting caught up in this crime somehow. I worried I can hardly think straight. About the Aurora Drop. Out of all the jewels in Mr. Dennis' collection, he considers the Aurora Drop to be his most precious possession. He worked tirelessly to acquire it in his first place. You might even say the Aurora Drop is the physical manifestation, the crystallization of Mr. Dennis's career as a jeweler. I wish nothing but swift retribution on the thief who stole it from him. For someone who speaks so formally of Barnes is a pretty passionate guy, isn't he? Please, Tim, find the Aurora Drop, I beg you. Don't worry, sir. We're on the case. Okay, so that's all the questions that we can ask him at the moment. Based on Barnes' testimony, I'm really not surprised the police suspects him. Yeah, if only there was another witness at least. About that, aren't you forgetting something, Tim? Huh? Barnes told us that Growlithe and Clefable were in the mansion at the time of the incident, remember? Oh, right, maybe the Pokemon saw something. Exactly. You can leave the rest to me. Let's go question them, Tim.
Tim.
Okay. We're gonna go ahead and end it right here. We did a lot and we're already over time for today.
Tim.
but it seems as though we're coming up on a conclusion. So far, who do you guys expect? Let me know who you suspect in the comments below. So far, I think I'm most suspicious of the wife. She has clear motive. She's the only one who claims she didn't hear anything. If I heard somebody getting knocked out on the second floor and my room is literally adjacent to the jeweler's room, then something is off with that testimony. So we're gonna find out in the next playthrough. But if you guys like this video, please like, share, subscribe, babes, and I will see you Space Cadets in the next video. Bye me.
Darling,